Good evening, guys. What's up? This is Gina Efoe, the one and only African superstar. Big shout outs to you guys today. Yes. I'm back again. I want to talk about this topic. First, shout outs to the African superstar family. Those of you guys showing continued support. Please make sure you add the African superstar to your playlist. Make sure you add my latest EP, Iconic, to your playlist. That's available exclusively at bandcamp.com. So please show love. If you're enjoying the musical journey, make sure you show some tangible support. Big shout out to the African superstar family. If you are here, you know the code by now. Make sure you like the stream. You can leave me something in the comments and so on and so forth. Today, I want to talk about an unpopular opinion. Yes, I want to talk about an unpopular opinion, which is support Black creators who like Black people. Hello. There's a saying that says not all skin folk are kinfolk. I have an adult audience. By now, you guys should definitely know this. You guys should definitely know that every Black person you meet is not necessarily down just based off of, the fact that we share melanin, that we share appearance, that we share whatever we share. It doesn't mean that they're down. There are some gentlemen that have a pretty popular podcast. I'm not a podcast viewer, but I have seen them countless times over and over again, clips of, their podcast show. And these gentlemen are named James and Farhad. Apparently, a few days ago, they had a podcast episode where they were having a conversation with white men. And the white man was kind of making derogatory comments about Black women in the Atlanta area. And these brothers sat there and let this guy, make these comments, kind of had just laughed it off and did not check them, did not represent, did not set the status quo, nothing, And the thing is that a lot of our people in elevated positions, I can't even really say, hey, these guys are podcasters. I can't really say that they're in elevated position, but I would say majority of our people in elevated position, they will not come to the aid of Black people. They don't even really like Black people. A lot of times they're just catering to that audience for their own financial and political gain. I also want to say that in this era of podcasting, a lot of these podcasters, they are social incels. Special shout outs to Dr. Lincoln. That's his word. That's what he describes these weirdos online who have no social life, who have no friends, who get no play, who are basically irrelevant. They come out on social media and they build these social media platforms. A lot of times they'll invest a lot of money into the production, or they will be sensationalized and all of this stuff to get an audience. But at the end of the day, if you go behind them, like you can go behind me here and see what's happening with me, some of my accomplishments behind me. If you go behind these people, you will see that, ooh, they're not all that they say that they are. And I would say specifically in regards to Black women, be careful where you lend your support and validation. Okay? Again, all skin folk is not kinfolk. You need to analyze the folks that you are following, that you are listening to, that you are taking leadership from, and all of this, especially if you are repetitively listening to these people or, consulting with them or whatever. You better be careful that you need to examine their background to make sure that where you're going to go, where the direction that you are heading into because you're following them is the direction that you want to achieve. This is reasons why I don't listen to a lot of people, because actually when I actually do that analysis of who they are, the kind of life they live, I come to the conclusion that I don't want the life they live. So why would I listen to them? Why would I let them advise me? Some of you ladies are guilty for watching people like Cynthia G. Cynthia G villainizes men. She slanders them. She gives all kind of radical, crazy, information. Now, again, I'm not a viewer of hers. I've just seen, videos every now and then, and obviously some of her sensational clips. But it's very, very obvious that she has issues. Okay, she has issues. And furthermore, when you go in and look into her private life, you go and look into her love life, you see that she doesn't have a happy, healthy relationship. Same thing with Kevin Samuels. Kevin Samuels, for a long time, he was out there with positive content. And I do understand our people gravitate to that sensational stuff. They gravitate towards drama and, insulting kind of content and things like that. For a long time, the brother was out there trying to, have a positive social media. No, that didn't take him to the apex, okay? The apex came when he started being controversial and derogatory, and kind of, put gasoline to the flame of the gender wars and all that stuff. That's when the brother blew up and got his huge audience. And he, again, was fueled by these incels, these people that are socially inept, okay? They have no real life. They have no real relationships or anything like that. And that's why they latch on to these figureheads so tightly, because there's nothing offsetting that. You see, a woman, for instance, who has a man or who has a love life or interacts with men, she's not going to be attracted to the messages that Cynthia G puts out there. Okay? Because Cynthia G is giving giving unhappy, giving bitter, giving toxic. A mature woman understands a lot of things that you're not going to get per se from there. And a happy, healthy man who loves fulfilling relationships, he's not going to be attracted to, for instance, a Kevin Samuels. He's going to look at Kevin Samuels and say, look, this dude, look at his track record. He's got 3 divorces. He's got kids who he doesn't interact with. He currently was, up to the day he died, single, unmarried. Do I want this kind of life? Yeah, he says he's high value because he earns a lot of money. So is high value equated to, having access to women to sleep with? Or is high value equated to, the comprehensive overlook of your life? What I would say, guys, these gentlemen, they took the approach that so many Black people in the public eye would take, which is actually really disgusting because, like I said, they're not that famous. They're social media famous, which gives them the ability to actually speak their mind. Now, these athletes and musicians and, politicians and actors who have contracts, who have NDAs, who cannot, speak freely their mind or their ideology, that's one thing. But these brothers, all it says is punk. All it says is bitch. All it says is incel, weakling. Because you would sit there and kiki ha ha while people are disrespecting your people to your face. To your face. And I would say, because I realize that men don't listen to women, men do not listen to women. Women, this is a pro tip. Okay, because if you were just constantly trying to, relay some information to a man, your husband, your spouse, your boyfriend, your baby daddy, whatever, your brother, your dad, whoever, it's not going to be received from you. They only listen to other men. So I would say, men, when you see this incel action going on, when you see these incels making a fool of your kind, it would behoove you to check them, because men need to hold other men accountable for the nonsense that they do. You know what I mean? Black women have been out there constantly over the centuries, trying to push and motivate Black men, trying to advise them, trying to communicate their feelings, and it never gets received. Men only listen to other men. Okay. That's why these movements, albeit very, very supported by many females, pushed, motivated by many females, they had male figureheads. Okay. They had male figureheads because that's the science. Men don't listen to women, men listen to other men. Okay. When men get into positions of influence, they are like, they are invincible. They're unstoppable because they are going to resonate to all the other men. Black men, you need to check your brothers. You need to check your brothers. They are out here making a laughing stock of you. Okay? Making a laughing stock of you, making you look like the weakest link. Okay? Bottom of the totem pole. Losers. Because when they get into positions of power in the spotlight, they're too busy jigging and moving, shucking and jiving, clapping and entertaining to take advantage of that platform and check people and set the standard. I can tell you right now that if you do not command respect, okay, you let people talk to you anyhow, you let people disrespect you, you let people, walk all over you, they will 100% do it. They will 100% do it. Big shout outs, ATM International, Wildfire, and Tony Africa. I see my moderators in the building. Big shout outs to you. If you let people disrespect you, this is one of the things our people don't get. Because our people, I think, are naturally non-confrontational, especially here in Africa. Here in Africa, people do not like conflict. They do not, they're indirect a lot of times in the way they communicate. They don't even like saying no. They just do not like confrontation. But the thing about it is there comes a time and place where it's absolutely necessary. You got to set the record straight, because if you don't, what's the saying? Give someone an inch and they will take a mile. Now these brothers have completely embarrassed themselves. They are getting backlash throughout social media. Probably their podcast is going to suffer, just like those other guys, Fresh and Fit. Okay? You see, when you refuse to stand for anything, you will fall for everything. Okay? You might think by just going along with it that you can avoid the confrontation. It's going to cost you one way or another. And what I want to say to you guys that genuinely love Black people, you genuinely love Africa, please be careful to whom you listen. Make sure you examine that person. Make sure you check out their history and their track record. See, I'm one of the few YouTubers out here that can compel you to check the track record. Yeah, I tell you, go on and check my background. Go on and check what I said. Go on, because what you're going to find is what I've told you. How I talk here is how I walk. I practice what I preach. So I don't mind if you go digging into wherever you need to dig into. And I always tell you, I can brag on it, is that I'm here on social media and don't nobody come from me. Isn't that remarkable? All these YouTubers out here, all these folks in Africa, all these people here in Ghana, who comes from me? Why? Because there's no grounds. Check who you're listening to. Look what's going on in their life situation and determine, is that the direction I want to go? Now, yeah, if you want to come and live here in the continent, you want to migrate here, you want to have longevity, you believe in our people, you believe in Black love, you believe in, our ability to do for self, this is your platform. I'm your girl, because that's what I talk about and that's what I live. But if, for instance, you are integrationalist, you're a swirler, you're highly political, um, you're into these kind of things, then I'm not necessarily your girl because I don't align with those things, and that's not things I promote, and those are not things that I'm pursuing. These guys, I'm pretty sure if you just took a magnifying glass to them, you would see that they kind of strike me. Again, I have not watched them intimately, but they kind of really do strike me as incels. They really do. Limited worldview, probably don't get much play, probably were just overall irrelevant until their podcast. Like most of these people on social media, at the end of the day, especially the ones that have a high frequency of social media. People that have a high frequency of social media, I'm sorry to say, they don't have a life. They're doing it for the gram. They're doing it for YouTube. Because who else can just be out here constantly, I got this, I'm about to do my makeup. Yeah, I'm about to get a lollipop. About to put my deodorant on. Everything for the gram. Everything for the gram. When do they have time to live their real life? When do they have time to meet up with their friends? When do they have time for relationships? When do they have time for work or whatever? Gym, whatever. Like, you see, as I came to Ghana and I started pursuing different endeavors, like my music, okay, fitness, these kind of things, I seemingly had less and less time for social media, right? So it coincides with kind of the more things you have going on in your life, the more difficult it is to showcase everything on for the gram, for social media. A lot of these Black people in the public eye, guys, they don't like Black people. Okay, they're using you to fuel their fortunes and their popularity. They know that a lot of us are going to root for the Black person in the room because we want to see that person win. So we just naturally gravitate towards our people and support our people and all of that. But I'm telling you, a lot of our people are damaged goods. Okay. You can also analyze them to see, like, just like these guys, James and Farad, they made their position known on that last podcast. Okay. They let their position be known where they stand on those issues. If they had any affinity and respect for Black women, for instance, they would have checked that white boy. But you see, at the end of the day, they're like puppies to white men. They're like bitches to white men. I just got to say it. A lot of our brothers are like that. It's hard to respect a man who cowers down to other men. It's almost like you acknowledging that, oh, they are superior to me. Now, I bet they might have more money than you. They might be more famous than you. They might have more social standing and blah, blah, blah. But respect is got to be commanded. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And you need to say, you can do it in a nice tone. You don't have to be aggressive. You don't have to be, rude per se, but you just need to say, yo, that's uncalled for. Like, what are you getting at? We're not going to, I don't appreciate those statements being made, because at the end of the day, if you're a Black man, you have Black females in your family. First and foremost, your mama. And I know at the root cause of a lot of this hatred that Black men have towards women, it has to do with your mom. And that has tainted your view of Black women in general. But I'm telling you, when you cower down, for instance, trying to get some kind of acknowledgement from other people, they also think that you're a bitch. They also think that you're weak. Because I guarantee if the shoe was on the other foot, which I don't know too many Black men that would have the balls to go ahead and tell the white man about how loose and slutty their women are, how they are gold diggers, you know, how they just lie, cheat, and steal and make false allegations. I dare one of y'all to tell the white man to his face about his own women. Y'all ain't got that smoke. Y'all ain't got that smoke. But see, like I said, I recognize that a lot of people that are in the public eye, black people, they are tokens, they are mascots, they are sellouts, they're swirlers, okay? They're playing for the other team. And they're just using their likeness, okay, to be, you know, which is being manipulated for their cause. You know, now those of us that really are down, y'all don't show us the love. Y'all show these fake ones. I don't know why. I don't know why. I'll never understand it. You know, because for me, a person's lifestyle is very, very important when it comes to, can that person advise me? That's super important to me because I want to know how you live. Okay, don't come and tell me about fitness and you're 500 pounds and can't walk a block. I can't take you seriously. Don't come tell me about being a millionaire and a business owner when you don't do that. You don't have, you're not a millionaire. You're not a business owner. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're coming to talk to me about relationships, for instance. You have zero. You're an incel. You're unwanted. You're rejected. You know, I want to see how your advice is translated in your own life. That's how you're going to win me over, for instance. But I see, I see popular culture doesn't even require that because people keep getting caught up with these gurus and these celebrities and all this stuff that, again, the math is not mathing. A little bit of research is going to tell you that these folks that you're patronizing are not the real deal. You know, big shout out to the African Superstar family. Okay, let me check comments. Guys, we have 19 of you and we have like 4 in the chat room. So if y'all don't get interactive, hello, we'll be ending the live because where do I have to go with? Hello. Wildfire said, Black people don't like conflict. That's true. Sometimes conflict is good. Look, it's life. Okay, conflict is life. Difficulty is life. Okay, that's why the word no exists. Okay, the world is not full of yes. Matter of fact, the world is full of no more than yes. Okay, for every action, there's a reaction. There are times when you must assert yourself. There are times when you must speak. That's why you have a mouth. Okay, there are times when you need to use your hands or your feet. Okay, if you smell smoke, you can avoid a fire. You were given certain capabilities and senses and logic for a reason. And although you don't want conflict, part of life is navigating conflict, problem resolution. I guarantee, because I'm someone who does it, that initial check, that initial parameters that you put around, trust me, it's well worth it than to have the long drawn out. Because see, once you let them get away with that disrespect, once you let them get away with crossing the line or making jokes or whatever, they're going to take it too far because it's human nature. First of all, they might think that you're stupid. They might think they got one off, that you didn't catch it. Okay? And they're going to keep on. And if we know anything about white people, they're very, very provocative. Okay? If you don't check them, they will keep on. They will keep on pushing the envelope. They will keep on pressing you. They will keep on provoking you. They will not stop unless you make them stop. Make them to understand that you don't play like that. I tell people all the time, I'm not a friendly person. I know maybe those of you guys have been watching me a while. You might say, no, Jeannie, you're really nice. I would never describe myself as a friendly person. I'm polite. I was raised well and I'm very polite, but I'm not friendly. So if you don't know me, don't think that you can just be, sometimes I get DMs pretty often on my social media and people will be asking me personal questions. And I'm just like, am I under investigation? Like, who are you? Asking me this, asking me that. Where did I grow up? Who's my family? Wait a minute. Now, in that scenario, if somebody's asking me personal business and I start giving it out, they're going to keep asking more questions, right? Yeah, they will. Because you need to put that block up and say, hey, look, I don't discuss my personal information online. I don't know you. You're a complete stranger. In this day and age, why would I be relinquishing public information? Some of you guys don't want to put your foot down. And that's why you encounter the situations you do. Because when you were supposed to put your foot down, you didn't want to. You didn't want to be rude. You didn't want to seem like you weren't friendly. You didn't want to, change the environment and all of that. And now the situation has got out of hand. Pro tip. Ladies, if you're getting messages from gentlemen on the internet that you don't know, and their first message to you is, I love you, you're beautiful, I've been looking for this, I've been looking for a girl like you. Hey, avoid it. Okay? He's probably sending that message to like 50 other girls, waiting on the woman who's going to bite like a fish like a bait on a fish hook, who's going to take it. Oh, thank you so much. Wow, you made my day. You really made me smile. Now you're going down a rabbit hole. Okay? Let me tell you, there are men and women who have been in relationships for years and they will never say that their partner's beautiful. They don't take care of their kids. They refuse to marry them. Okay, these are people that have been in intimate relationship. So you mean to tell me this complete stranger that you don't know, maybe lives in a different country than you and all of this, you're just the one for him. He determined all of this off of your profile picture. Hello. Putting parameters around situations, it really simplifies life. And it also wards off a lot of BS, let me tell you. Because when people see that they can't play with you, for instance, they don't even come for you anymore. Because they're like, oh, yeah, I saw the way she dealt with that last person. Or she has a reputation. He has a reputation. I better not play with it. What's Jeezy say? Jeezy says in one of his songs, that nigga crazy, girl, don't say nothing to him. Okay, when people know how you roll, where you coming from, they don't even try it. They don't even try it. But that is your own responsibility to set that stage. And honestly, I have to say, as a big supporter, obviously, of Black men, it makes me so embarrassed when I see other Black men, when I see Black men that just cower down and just laugh and joke. It's so embarrassing. I mean, that's the time. Okay, now y'all can go back and forth with women for days. Okay, which I perceive as feminine energy. If we want to talk about feminine and masculine. Because a real man, I know real men will say, look, I'm not going back and forth with you, woman. I'm not doing this with you. That's what real men will do. Real men will regulate the situation. They will shut it down. Feminine men are going to go back and forth with women like they are women. They're going to go tit for tat. Well, when you say something to them, they're going to say, yeah, but what about when girls do this and that? Actually, if you saw yourself as the masculine, superior man, the leader of the household, you would see women's business as women's business. You would actually hold yourself above it a bit. The way I hold myself above many, many juvenile things. I don't even acknowledge a lot of juvenile things because I see myself above that. I see myself as, this is childish. Why would I even respond to that? But unfortunately, we have a sizable amount of Black men that engage in non-productive feminine activity. And it's so disgusting, especially when he looks like a man. When he looks real manly, huh? Ladies, if you know what I'm saying, let me see a number one. When you see a fine, tall, big, masculine looking athletic man, and then you see him behaving as such, it's just like, oh, it's just so crushing, so disappointing. You know, you really wanted him to man up. You know, you wanted to see that energy. You know, I realize, like, for instance, I go to, you know, the gym I go to, there's like a lot of macho men at my gym. And, you know, Ghanaian men, African men are some of the most amazingly handsome. I mean, you know, especially these guys that train, their body is like a work of art. So chiseled, so defined, you know, they look strong. I enjoy watching them work out. It's so sexy, you know, or when you see them, you know, helping a lady, you know, oh, her tire blew out, and the men come over and start trying to help her. Or, you know, even in the gym, if I'm trying to lift some weights or try to get, you know, this and that situation, the men will just instinctively come over and try to help, try to assist. That is a man. That says, I am the king of the jungle. And here's this little lion cub, she needs help. And I know some of you guys are the independent ladies, and you're gonna be like, no, I can lift my own weights. I don't need a man to do it. Well, I'm not in your batch, okay? I like it when a man takes control. I love it when a man, you know, goes ahead. If I have any reservations, I'll speak up. Once you tell me this is what we're gonna do, I might say, oh, well, let's try this or that. But ultimately, I love it for you to take the reins and say, hey, this is what, you know, this is what I had in mind. What do you think? It's okay. You know, I made plans. I'm with that. You know, and again, this podcast era, it illuminates the feminine man. It illuminates the feminine man because most of their subject matter is centralized around women, not even other men, not even topics relating to men. It's centralized around women, what women are doing, responding and fighting and going back and forth with women. Feminine energy. Now the occasion has come for you to be a man. Now you're on the channel with men, okay? And you don't have anything to say. Now it was your moment of truth, James and Farad. It was your moment of manhood. And you fumbled it. You didn't know what to do when you was up against men, but you can talk all the time when it comes relative to women. Ridiculous and embarrassing. And so again, I compel the brothers, listen, you see this kind of weak, feminine, you know, interactions taking place. You guys need to speak up and tell. Because men don't listen to women. You know, let them know this looks poor. This is reflecting poorly on all of us. Okay. This makes us all look weak. This makes us look like pushovers. This makes us look stupid. That we would sit there. Can you go and disrespect the Jewish woman in front of the Jewish man? I doubt it. You want to go talk about the Latinas in front of the essays? Huh? I remember O'Shea did a video about it. And he was talking about these passport bros that went down to Colombia. And apparently they have made some YouTube videos about these, you know, passport babes that they found and all this stuff. The men in Colombia started getting about it. Like, don't be talking about our women. Don't be posting about our women online. You can get out of our country. They started turning up. Okay. No other man will stand for this stuff. It's embarrassing. And it's disappointing. And this comes from one of the women that loves and supports you guys, you know, and I know, again, you don't listen, but, you know, you need to check these guys that are out here making you look weak, making you look like the bottom of the totem pole, that you're not serious, that you're scared, that you're no more than a gesture, just for entertainment purposes, just a mascot, that you're going to do what they say. You're going to do what they tell you to do. Big shout out to the African superstar family. Wildfire says, I used to follow some YouTubers and then I found out they swore. I tell you what, when I see, sometimes I have ladies on my Instagram, they might do makeup or, I've started following them because of a viral video or something. When I see them post up that bread, I immediately unfollow. I don't want to see Brad. I don't want to see Brad. I don't believe in the narrative. I don't want to see it. I know then, like anything else, like I did a video a while ago about our media being compromised. I know that you're compromised at that point. I know that I cannot take you seriously because obviously, your perspective and my perspective don't match in that area. And then when you go on, 99% of the time, guys, 99% of the time, when these folks, when our people are swirling, one of the justifications that they have, a lot of them have in common, was that they were rejected from their own. Okay. So, maybe they were nerdy in school, or maybe, they weren't conventionally beautiful, or maybe they were fat or whatever. And they got rejected from their own. So now they have defaulted to these people. To me, that is a terrible premise to start a relationship. Okay, you're not starting a relationship because you found the one. Because when you saw him, it was like, oh my God. Or when you saw her, it was like, oh my God. You're defaulting because of a lack of success where you initially wanted success. Now, you're not saying you've been dating the white man since, your first crush was a white man. And no, you're saying you had an affinity for your own people, which is natural, which is normal. Didn't work out. So now you're just going to go with, leftovers, basically. Big shout out to the African superstar family. What's up, Amina? Thank you so much. For those of you guys that are on code, yes, because when I get to end these comments, hello, make sure you're supporting Black content creators that like Black people. Hello. Make sure you're supporting Black content creators that love Africa, that represent the diaspora, that are for unity. Hello. Speak Pan-Africanism, speak pro-Blackness, speak Black love. Yeah, make sure you get you one of them. Because any of these other people, they are, what do they call them? Oh, they were calling one of my friends agents. They're agents. If they don't walk it like they talk it, they're nothing more than an agent. Big shout outs. What's up, Jennifer Edie? I see you there. Stacy G. Hi, sweetie pie. Big shout outs. Ladies, yeah. My first trivia question was, isn't it so embarrassing? Isn't it so embarrassing when we see what happens to our men in the public eye? It's just like, I tell you one that got me. One that I was salty about was Jonathan Majors. Jonathan Majors, I was like, oh man. Another one bites the dust. I was just like, this guy, he's like the epitome of masculinity, was in the creed, was all machoed out and everything, and then got snow bunny. Got snow money. Lost your endorsements, you know what I'm saying? Like had the court case, everything. And I'm just like, just made me have a completely different impression of the brother. You know what I mean? And I'm just so sick of it. I just wish you guys could stand up on your feet. That's what they're there for. Okay? Your knees are not your feet. Okay? You're not meant to be bowing. You're not meant to be cowered down. Okay? You have feet. If you're a 6'5", 6'3", 250-pound man, you meant to be seen. And you meant to stand. Okay? I don't have a son, but if I had a son, this is what I would tell him. I would tell him, listen, you are meant to be seen, clearly. Okay? You were designed in a way that you are meant to be seen. So don't be unseen. Okay? Don't hide. Don't go to the back. I'm one of those people that, if you ask me, fortunately, unfortunately, I'm meant to be seen. You know, I didn't benefit from trying to hide. I didn't benefit from trying to blend in because I just felt that, okay, blending in is going to make an easier life for me. But I'm someone who naturally garners attention all the time. And it's been like that since childhood. And it was frustrating for me. It was frustrating until I just accepted it. I accepted it that this is how I was designed. If no mistakes are happening, out of my daddy's sperm and my mommy's eggs, I'm the one that came to be. I'm meant intentionally to be here as I am. And I think about the people that I've been able to impact. My mom has these kind of conversations with me. My mom is so sweet and encouraging, and she talks about that. She talks about what a void would be here, if you were not here. All the things that you manage, all the things that you facilitate, all the people you've impacted, the encouragement that you've given out wouldn't exist if you weren't here. And that's what I want to tell my people at the end of the day. I know a lot of our people deal with psychological issues, self-hate, low self-esteem and all that kind of stuff. But you have to realize that you were chosen to be here. In some cases, some of you guys have cheated death. You've been in difficult situations. You've been at ground zero. You've experienced loss and setbacks. And you keep coming back strong. And the reason is because you are explicitly meant to be here and you are explicitly made to be seen. Okay? That's just what it is. Big Shaw's Fitzroy, thank you so much for the super chat. First super chat of the day. That's what I'm going to tell you guys. Okay? You don't need to aspire to be anybody else. Okay? You don't need to hide who you are and kiss their ass. Because you as you are is the way it's supposed to be. And if you weren't there, there will be a void created. Okay? Even one day when you are no more, that void will be there. It is what it is. We have examples of this, where there are really, amazingly famous figures like Michael Jackson or Nelson Mandela or Malcolm X. It's literally like, wow, these people, their impact was so huge that centuries after their death, I tell you guys often, well, I don't know if you guys, I've mentioned it on the channel several times that one of my favorite musicians is Marvin Gaye. Marvin Gaye was killed, I believe it was April 1st, 1984 or 1983. One of the years. If anybody knows the year, you can put it in the chat. Now, my birthday is in 1983. Okay, so my entire life, I've been loving this musician who was already deceased as I was a baby. But through his music and through his talent, he's had a profound effect on me. Not just me, but lots of people. But he's just one example. But that's what I want to give you guys to understand, that as you occupy space in this world, okay, you occupy space in this world, it was because you were supposed to be here. That's why you made it. And like my last video was survival of the fittest, okay, you up till this point have managed to survive. Your ancestors survived, okay? I hate to get a little graphic, but during the transatlantic slave trade, there were some enslaved Africans that never made it, okay? They got ill on the journey. They got sick. Some of them may deliberately have committed suicide, whatever may have happened. Okay. They didn't even make the voyage. They didn't even hit the land. There were others based on the conditions, based on how they were being treated, based on the weather, climate change, the diet, everything. They never made it. Do you realize that you are the product of those that survived? Okay, that's how you came to be. You came to be because they were able to get together and produce your ancestors to keep the family line going. Okay, what that means is you are really, really supposed to be here. It's not a mistake. Don't you guys know there's a high infant mortality rate for Black mothers and infants? Which means some children die either in the womb or at birth or shortly after birth. So when you look at the bigger picture and you look at all these factors and you look at the fact that you are still here, healthy, sound, whatever. And then some of us have taken it a bit further where we have consciously decided to impact other people. It's all by design. It's all fascinating. It's not a mistake. It's not a mistake. And I encourage you guys as well, those of you guys with children and grandchildren, to really drive this home in our kids. Okay, because they need to understand that they are a wonderful creation and they're meant to be here. They literally made it compared to so many people that didn't make it. Big shout outs to the Mr. Tony Africa. Thank you so much for your super chat. I see you guys in the building. Y'all want a super chat? Y'all feeling this message? Okay, I might come back with a whole message about the fact that we're not a mistake. We're not a mistake. In my case, my mother tells me all the time about how she went through what she went through to have me. You know what I mean? My mother had 3 miscarriages before me, but she wanted to be a mother, so she carried on. And when I think about that, the pain involved and psychological disappointments and all that kind of stuff, and the impact on your body, that's a lot. And my mom said that when I came out and she looked at me and I had all my, all my extremities and I was a pretty baby and I was happy and all that stuff, she was just like, wow, it's a labor of love, because look at my child, and then that child has gone on to become a woman and doing amazing things out here. So anyway, I will continue this topic another time. But I really, really want to convey that to you guys, especially those of you guys dealing with depression and low self-esteem, and you don't know why you're here and you don't know what this life is for. And it's so full of disappointment sometimes. That's true. I feel you. Believe me, I haven't got everything easy and smooth the way I want it. But at the end of the day, I come back to the fact that I am supposed to be here. I am supposed to be here. And so if that's the case, if I'm supposed to be here, then I'm going to do what I'm meant to do to death. I'm going to do it to the best of my ability, and I'm going to be consistent with that. Big shout out to the African Superstar family. I want to say special thanks to those of you guys who sent super chats. Well done. Because the title of this is Support Black Creators, Hello, That Like Black People. That's the title. Okay. Now, y'all support a lot of other people that don't even like Black people. Huh? Yeah. Hello. Yeah, y'all do. Some of y'all been scammed by those people. Yeah. If you are fortunate enough to find a legit person to get behind, show your love in a tangible way. Make sure that person receives the necessary support, because I talked to someone here in Ghana the other day. Big shout out to the African Superstar family. I'm about to wrap up. I spoke to someone who at a time was so gung-ho, for instance, for the diaspora. This person was just really doing their best to help folks transitioning to Africa and things like that. And I had a conversation with them the other day, and the discouragement, what they've been through, you know, some of the drama that our people have brought to them, even though they've been legit, upright, and transparent through the whole thing. You know, and this person was like, you know what, Gina, I'm falling back. You know, come what may, to those people, because the risk is high. You know, me trying to help them has been very costly and psychologically draining to me. And I said, you know, I feel you. You know, so there are people out here that have good intentions, but they do lose heart, which means when you find the people that have the tenacity, you know, they have that ability to keep going despite the obstacles, show your love in a tangible way. Okay. Big shout out to the African Superstar family. Thank you, Special K. Oh, it's good to see you. Thank you so much, Wildfire. I thank you. Okay, y'all heard me. Y'all heard me a little bit. All right. Thank you guys for the love and support. I really appreciate it. But I'm just saying, you know, I'm just keeping it real. Cause Black people out here on social media that actually love Black people, that speak the controversial things, that don't bow down to the white man, few and far between. I'll tell you that. Sometimes you see them and then you see their perspective on one end, or you find out they're swirling or they're promoting these various communities, and you're like, oh my goodness, I can't believe it. Like recently I looked up this lady who's on this Bridgerton series. So over the summertime, one of my friends introduced this Bridgerton to me because I had never watched it. And so I saw a couple episodes, and there's a lady who plays Queen Charlotte on there. And she's really a phenomenal actress. I mean, she really embodies the queen, and it was cool to see a Black queen or a mixed race queen, whatever. So I kind of looked into her history a little bit. And then I saw that she's playing for the other team. And on top of her playing for the other team, she married a white woman. And I was like, wow. I just was so disappointed yet again, you know, but you see, that's me before I go out and say I'm a supporter of this person. Oh, I love this actress. Or I love this, you know, person of interest, whatever. I got to know that background. So I'm like, yo, she's playing for the other team and she's swirling. No way. I definitely can't get behind that. What's Alex? I see you there. Big shout out S&P. Thank you for reminding me. I didn't mention it during this episode. Strategy, maturity, and patience, the mission statement of this channel. Okay. Definitely something that I embody. Definitely something that you should embody so that you can navigate this life journey with as much success as possible. Okay. Don't just be out here willy-nilly, and don't just be following any Tom, Dick, or Tom. Tom, Dick, or Tom. What is it? Tom, Dick or Harry. My bad. Tom, Dick, or Harry. Don't just be following anybody. Okay. Make sure you got to check them out, man. And I'm telling you, I know for a fact that a lot of these people are not legit. Even here on YouTube, you know, shout out to my homegirl, Anita. I had a conversation with her the other day. We was talking about a lot of these fake YouTubers that we've met them in real life, and, you know, how they behave and stuff. And it's just like they project one thing online and the way they live in real life is different, you know, because a lot of people are putting on for money, putting on for attention, putting on for fame, putting on the controversial topics just to draw the crowd, and they're not legit. You know what I mean? So anyway, I think my point was well received. Big shout out to the African Superstar family. I appreciate everybody that we had in the building. Yes. Thank you, Jennifer. Appreciate you, Honey Pie. I appreciate always the tangible support. I need to do a new music video. Yeah. So that's what the funds are, putting them aside for a music video, because I actually have not released one all year with my dad passing away earlier, and then I had to go to the US, and so I haven't been able to do a music video. There's still a few months left in 2024, so I'm hoping I can get a decent sum to put towards a music video. If not, we have to push it out. But I have so much great music that I would love to do videos to the music. But thank you anyway, guys, for your love and support. If you are not subscribed to our family, but you love this content, please make sure you subscribe. That way you don't miss my live streams. Make sure you're a part of what we are doing here. Yes, supporting a Black content creator who actually loves Black people, who actually embodies everything, who actually is bold enough to say a lot of these things that I'm telling you, my counterparts can't say it. My counterparts can't say it. They refuse to take a stand. They refuse to take a position because they're not legit. They're not legit. That's why. That's the only explanation. So anyway, guys, until we meet again, stay Black and true. If you ain't Black, just stay true.